Today on Dr. Phil.
Your husband cheated on you.
An affair with one of her bridesmaids.
We drank a little bit, and then we had sex.
No.
Turns ugly.
You forced yourself on me, Jeffrey.
Every single time was consensual.
One of you is lying.
Accusations fly.
I believe Amy will do anything in her power to get my husband away from me.
You believe she's always been in love with your husband.
And now,
Did you admit that you got pregnant on purpose?
No.
She did.
it's a bitter custody battle.
I had to call the police to go get my kid.
You're only saying it for custody.
You're lying for custody.
You say he has threatened now to kill you.
He threatened my life, yes.
Everything that you're saying is complete lie.
Are you kidding me?
I'm going to tell you how it is. You're not even listening. I'm going to tell all of you people. Let's do it.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
I hate to see people suffering, and you've heard long enough.
Stand by, Dr. Phil.
Wilson, take
I'm going to get you the help that you need.
5, 4.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. Well, Jeffrey and Gwynne had a beautiful wedding, and now they have 3 gorgeous daughters and live in an upscale neighborhood near a golf course. Jeffrey and Gwynne even welcomed Jeffrey's high school friend, Amy, into their home at one point. Now, after all, she is the godmother to their children and was a bridesmaid in their wedding. Now, Jeffrey and Gwynne's life seemed, well, it just seemed idyllic. That is until one drunken night when Jeffrey and Amy took their friendship, well, they took it a step too far.
Jeffrey and I have been friends since the 11th grade. It was like a friends with benefits for a short period of time. That didn't last. We just ended up being close buddies. Jeffrey always had a girlfriend, but always had a few on the side. Jeffrey has cheated on his wife many times. 3 nights before his wedding ceremony, he slept with another woman.
With this ring,
I do thee well.
I do thee well.
I was a bridesmaid in their wedding. After Jeffrey got married, we still stayed in touch. Jeffrey asked me to be the godmother of his twin girls 2 years ago. Jeffrey cheated on his wife with me. We ended up sleeping together after drinking a half a bottle of whiskey. After we had had sex, he said how he forgot how good it was. I was like, this is just too weird. You need to go home to your wife. And that's when he was saying, oh, that family. He's a pig. He's never gonna change. The day after we slept together, he sends me a text saying that he was gonna come and get it whenever he wanted, that I was his now. I didn't respond. It creeped me out.
Well, Amy says she slept with Jeffrey only one other time. And that's when things turned into what she describes as criminal.
Jeffrey had a key to my apartment, so he let himself in. He brought a bottle of whiskey, and he did 2 or 3 shots. I didn't want to do any shots because I didn't want anything to happen. I kept telling him, go home to your family, and he's just like, whatever. I told him no several times. I wasn't gonna yell or scream or anything. Jeffrey's got a really bad temper, and nobody ever says no to Jeffrey. I did try and push him off me, and he's a big guy. I couldn't get him off me. He forced himself on me. That's when I really panicked. He left right away. I know he wasn't coming back because he got what he wanted. 2 weeks later, I was feeling strange. I took a pregnancy test, and it came up positive.
Well, understand, Jeffrey is adamant the sex was consensual and claims that she lied and accused him of rape only when she realized he was not going to leave his wife.
2 years ago, I had 2 drunken nights with Amy, and I slept with Amy twice. Both times that Amy and I had sex, they were not protected. Amy claimed that I raped her. I made a mistake with sleeping with her, but I definitely didn't rape her. I never thought that my best friend of 12+ years would ever accuse me of raping her. And now with the baby in the middle, Amy is going above and beyond Call of Duty to make sure that I lose my kid. I don't think Amy is stable at all. She had a deposition with my lawyer. Every single word of what she said in that deposition was false. I would never, ever rape anyone. That night, it was mutual, consensual. I want to clear my name and let everyone know that I did not rape her.
Okay, I'm interested in getting to the bottom of what happened and what didn't happen. Are you?
I'm ready.
Are
Yes.
you? And I want to tell you that this is going to be a very serious conversation with very serious consequences here. So you need to make the resolution right now that it's time for truth-telling. So let me get this right. You guys have known each other a long time.
Yes.
You had a sexually active relationship some time ago when
Back
you were
in
younger.
high school, yes.
Yeah, a long time ago.
Yes.
Okay. Then you get together one night and you're drinking and have sex. That was consensual.
Yes, yes.
Okay. The problem is a week later because you say that he comes back that night, but this time you don't want to participate.
No.
That's a
Okay.
lie. I mean, every time we had sex, even when we were younger, we were drunk. Every time it was some kind of whiskey involved,
Jeffrey, you
some kind
never
of beer
drank.
involved. We drank a little bit, and then we had sex.
No. First time was definitely
single
at your
time was
house.
Okay,
consensual.
now, again, I want to stop y'all. Remember that I said this to you at the top of the show. Remember that I cautioned you to not spin this, to not stretch this, to not lie about this, to tell the truth. I am trained as a forensic psychologist, and let me tell you something. When people lie about what has happened between the two of them to gain leverage for control of a child, that is bad, bad business. Now, you need to both take a serious deep breath and think about what you're saying and doing right now. One of you is lying, and the other one is going to be saying, he told me, he warned me, and I wouldn't listen. I'm trying to help you both here. Let's tell the truth.
Let's tell the truth.
All right, there are inconsistencies the night of conception. Now, here's Amy's version. She says the night of conception was April 26, 2012. She says she received and ignored a text from Jeff at 11 p.m. saying, I'm coming to get it. No excuses. You have that text?
I had to get a factory reset on that phone I had then.
Okay, well, here's what Jeffrey says. He says that the night of conception was the 19th, not the 26th. He said he arranged with Amy to pick up patio chairs at her home. Did you do that?
The goal was to go there and get the chairs, but
11 o'clock at
I
night.
never got the chairs.
11 o'clock at night.
You went over there to get the chairs, but you didn't get
No.
the chairs.
While I was going there to hang out, on my way back home, grabbing the chairs and come back. I was actually on the phone, on speakerphone, and my wife actually heard you say, come on over. And I said to her, all right, I'm gonna go and grab those chairs. And that was it.
Did you tell him in the presence of his wife to come on over?
No, I did not.
So
I did not
she's-
answer.
so
was
they're
three
both
text
lying.
Yes, there was like 3 text
It was a
messages.
phone call.
This was other time. The text messages were saying that you were coming over. So we pretended like we were sleeping. That's what we did when you came in, when you let yourself in. You used your key and let yourself in.
No.
Okay, you say
I'm not gonna
Jeffrey
go against
used
the door.
his key.
You came up.
You say Jeffrey used his key to let himself into a townhouse. He says you answered the door and let him in.
No, I did not.
Do you have
No,
a
I
key
did
to her
not.
house?
Not anymore, but I did. Yes, I did.
You did then?
Yes, I did.
But you don't now?
No.
Okay. You say Jeffrey came upstairs with a bottle of whiskey. He says you told him to get the whiskey and shot glasses.
We
the first
drank it
time.
off. We drank it all from the week before.
it was
2
a
weeks
half
before.
bottle. It was the first time that we had sex. You and I had the first bottle down halfway. When I came in the door,
Whatever.
you said,
You
grab
brought
the
up-
bottle, we can finish it off. So I did. I grabbed that bottle,
Then why
took
didn't I
one shot
drink?
myself, went upstairs, then we were playing in front of your son. He goes to bed. We take one shot together. A total of 2 for me, 1 for you. We sit down in the bed, talk more. I take one more shot. We lay down, we have sex. At the end of us having sex, you told me that you're ovulating. It's possibly you'll get pregnant.
That was during. That's when I tried to push you off me, Jeffrey.
Never pushed. Never pushed.
I tried to.
Are you serious?
Jeffrey, right when you were about to finish, yes.
Gotcha.
As I tried pushing you off of me. And I told you,
and I
no,
having a
don't,
conversation
don't.
of you ovulating while I'm raping you. Impossible.
Jeffrey,
Impossible.
I never reported this because I never felt comfortable enough to say that
Go for
about my, I thought was my friend.
Right.
Jeffrey, you did that. When you came up there, you kissed me on the cheek. My son came over and wiped it off. He said, here, Mommy, let me get that. Are you kidding me?
Amy, everything that you're saying is a complete lie.
You said he walked in and began kissing you, and you told him to go home. He says you both took shots of whiskey and talked about the last time that you had had sex together.
No, I did not drink at
How
all.
good it
because
was. How it was perfect. And our second time was the same exact way. Am I lying about that?
Yes,
Be real.
Jeffrey.
Be real. Tell
We
the truth.
never talked that it was
Get outta
perfect.
here.
We were drunk.
Get out of here. The first and second time? You had a shot, I had 3?
You said that.
The second time I didn't drink a thing.
Right.
You said Jeffrey took your clothes off and had unprotected sex.
Yes.
He says it was consensual sex, but without a condom.
Yeah.
So you both agree it was unprotected.
It was unprotected.
You told Jeffrey no, and he says, in fact, he asked if she wanted to make my boy.
Yes.
He says he hugged you goodbye and then left.
No, you did not. I went to the bathroom when I came out. You were dressed and you turned your phone on or text back, or you were thinking about how you were going to tell your wife or whatever you were going to tell her.
Tell her what? But
Where you were.
She knew where I was.
No. Oh, my God, help me.
I assume you filed rape charges?
No,
Nope.
I didn't. No, I didn't. I never said anything. No, my whole thing was I never even used that word. And when this came up and they were asking me if this was consensual, I'm like, no, I mean, I did say no. In the beginning, I did let it happen. So I feel that it's not, I mean, it's, in a way, it's my fault. I mean, I let it happen.
You gotta be honest. We're here to tell the truth. My goal is to get through all this, okay? And let's co-parent. Tell the whole world that you were never raped and we can move forward. That's all I'm asking. I'll figure it all.
I never said that word. I said you forced yourself on me.
You described rape.
You forced yourself on me,
Wow.
Jeffrey.
Well, you certainly used that word with us. Did he rape you or did he not?
He forced himself on me, and I said no.
Well, Jeffrey's wife, Gwynne, believes Amy is in love with her husband and set out to get pregnant on purpose. Well, you know what? She is here, and we're going to add her to this conversation after the break.
Amy is irrational, delusional, unstable. This woman was in my wedding, and then she has sex with my husband. She gave him drinks. She knew she was ovulating and intentionally gets pregnant.
And later, I've been doing this 12 years. That's pretty amazing.
I do want to apologize. I want all this to get out, but the problem is that...
Apparently you don't.
I need to take a break. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, I don't take breaks.
The way I found out Amy was pregnant is she sent me a text. The first thing that went through my brain was my wife and kids. I sit Gwen down and I tell her Amy's pregnant. It's a possibility it's mine. Immediately, it hits her. She starts crying. I think we cried for about 3 hours. I begged for a second chance to prove that I could probably be a better husband than I was the first time.
Well, you just heard Jeffrey describe the pain he caused his wife when he revealed that he cheated with another woman. But the other woman wasn't just any woman. She was his high school best friend, godmother of his children, and even one of his wife's bridesmaids. Now, Amy got pregnant as a result of 2 drunken nights with Jeffrey. Now, Jeffrey's wife, Gwynne, believes Amy did this on purpose. She set out to destroy her family from the beginning and is now using the baby as a pawn in some twisted game.
Amy is trying to destroy my marriage. Amy is irrational, delusional, unstable. She does anything in her power to hurt people. She's just a mean, mean person. This woman was in my wedding. She was the godmother to my twins and a so-called close family friend. And then she has sex with my husband. I want Amy to stop spreading rumors that my husband raped her. She wanted Jeffrey to come over that night. She gave him drinks. She knew she was ovulating and intentionally gets pregnant. And now she wants to take full custody of the baby and continue to try to destroy our lives. I believe Amy will do anything in her power to get my husband away from me.
Sorry, I can't. I mean, this is my child.
I am afraid that Amy would do something more drastic. I am afraid that if this doesn't work out, that she's going to take it to another level.
Okay, Gwynne, this clearly was disruptive to your marriage. I mean, your husband cheated on you.
It disrupted my whole life. My whole life was disrupted. We were together every day.
And he was sick of that.
Can I talk? You had your time.
All right, well, I'm speaking my mind. That's why you guys went to therapy, because you had a sex addiction.
Really had nothing to do with you being pregnant.
That's not what you said.
So why didn't we go before this? Why didn't we go before this? It wasn't
because you didn't know.
No, because you were pregnant. Think about that, Amy.
What happened between the first time you had, by your definition, consensual sex with him, and the second time when you didn't want to have sex with him? What happened to change your opinion?
I was just like, that's wrong. How are we ever going to do Easter, do any family
We did do Easter. You had sex with my husband, then sat and laughed in my face. I was talking about me and my husband having another baby, that we wanted to have a boy, we were going to go to a fertility clinic. And you said, Another baby? Jeffrey? Jeffrey doesn't want to have another baby. Not with you. I'm like, what do you mean not with me?
No.
Who else would he have a baby with? He doesn't want to have another baby with you. He doesn't want to. I know him.
You believe she's always been in love with your husband?
Yeah, you know what? After all of this happened, there's so many things that she said and done, and it's like, oh my God, like the light bulb went off in my head, like, holy crap, I should have known the whole entire time.
Were you all together after this forced sex?
We had the Easter egg hunt, yes.
Yeah.
They came over.
So after
Let me say this.
well, no, hang on.
I'm sorry. This is just so mind-boggling.
After he violates you,
After the second time.
you all got together for an Easter egg hunt.
She brought the kids over, yeah.
And you came to my house for Easter.
Yes, I did, yes.
There it is, picture
Tell
right there.
me,
Oh, yep, that's the Easter egg hunt.
so
My kid.
tell me, hold on.
All right, oh.
Help me wrap my head around the fact that he comes over and violates you with your son in the house, and then you go hang out with them and go to their house to hang out. That, to me, is unusual behavior for a rape victim to seek out the rapist and have an Easter egg hunt or anything else.
I've never said I've never spread rumors about him raping me. I've never said anything up until this deposition when they asked me, was it consensual? And I was being honest. This is a deposition. I'm sitting there with court reporters and all this stuff. And then I told him, no, I did say no. I didn't push him off me until the end.
You're lying for custody. It's it.
How? How is that going to help my case?
Your statement right there, I never said any of this until the deposition, shows that you're only saying it for
because
custody.
I didn't say anything. I did tell
You
my
didn't tell
father.
Your sister? Oh, you told your dad? Really?
Yeah.
Sure.
Then why?
Because after he
Hang on. May I clarify a statement you just made?
Yeah.
You said, I didn't push him off of me until the very end.
Yes.
So,
I did not fight until the end. I did not fight.
so was
I
it?
said no.
It was half rape.
And
Was it okay?
I said he forced himself on me.
Right.
Okay?
But
I never
understand-
said he raped me.
Boy, I'm telling you, you guys are self-destructive, you two. So I'm just going to take a break. Next, Jeffrey and Gwynne say baby Elijah shows up for visits with unexplained bruises on his body, scratches on his face, and even blisters on his fingers. Is this a possible cause for concern? We'll talk about that when we come back.
It was really hard to see Jeffrey gushing over this baby. It was hard to see how happy he was, and I was hurt. Jeffrey always wanted a boy, and now it's like she was gonna have that with him. It was heartbreaking.
And later,
If everything is just in the best interest for Elijah, what about changing his name?
It's
David.
only a nickname.
It's a whole new name.
Started calling him Bentley,
We still
Benny.
call him-
well, let's confuse
And that's
the
healthy.
kid.
Thank you.
I think that Amy's neglectful when it comes to the baby. There's lots of times when the baby would come with multiple scratches and bruises, things that look like burns. There's a time that he came here and he looked like a complete abused child. Amy gets very defensive when we ask her about the cuts and bruises. She gets very upset. She says he's just a boy. That's what boys do.
You now believe that she is a negligent parent?
I've always believed that.
Okay, so you saw bruises and scratches and all of that type thing.
Yeah, tons.
Never been to the hospital, never one stitch.
The one day he came over with a ton of bruises and scratches, Jeffrey wanted to take him to the doctor the next day. She wouldn't allow it. It went as far.
Yeah.
Oh, but I
we had
stopped you.
text
Did I
messages
pull
to
up
prove
and
that. Yeah,
stop you?
we had text messages to prove it because when he called the doctor for an appointment, they said we're on the other line with the mother, and
Talk
she
to
said
you.
that
That
he
was
doesn't need
from
an
being
appointment.
sick.
No,
Okay.
it was for this. He
All
wanted
right,
to show
can
the
I
doctor.
ask you one question
Yes.
just for my own
Yes.
clarity, and then they can interrupt and say whatever they want to say? When you had sex with him on the night in question, not the first night, but the night on question, you didn't really try to stop him until the end because you worried about getting pregnant. So you wanted to stop this before.
No, there was no stopping him. I told him no. I did let it happen, and then I panicked when, towards the end, when I did push him off me. That's when I panicked, and that's when I said.
But you were going along with it up till the panic.
So why not take
Not
the
some-
veto? I'm sorry.
Hopefully.
Sorry.
Wow. I've been doing this 12 years. That's pretty amazing.
I do want to apologize. I want all this to get out, but the problem is that
Apparently you don't.
we weren't able to
they're
say
sitting here
anything to
lying
her
now,
for a
and
long
it's-
time. And now that we have
And
a
this is
final
how it is. They're
defense
just
to-
going to
Yeah,
team
this is how
up.
it is.
This is how it's going to be.
When it comes to her saying that she wanted to push him off because she didn't want to get pregnant, she could have took the Plan B pill the next day and it would have been a done deal. It's easy just as that. And that's what confuses me. I really am sorry for interrupting. I'm very sorry.
It's okay. All right, so we have a 15-month-old child in the midst of all this, right?
Yes.
And you want to take him out of state.
I want to move back home where we are all from.
Right.
We want to go back home.
And you have
yes.
family there and support
Yes,
there,
which I
but you
need
don't
for-
have where you are
I
now.
have nothing here, yes.
So you want to go there and be around your family and, in fact, be around his family.
Yep.
Did you have any objection to his family being in the child's life?
No.
And you all feel that she is a negligent and perhaps abusive parent because of the bruises, damages, scratches, all of that. You say he has threatened now to kill you.
Yes, he threatened my life, yes.
He threatened your life. And how did he do that?
He was on a rant and rave because he didn't like my signature. And he stood there and he was behind me. I was getting the baby out of the seat because he wouldn't give me the baby. So I went and got the baby out of the truck, and he was standing behind me saying he can't wait for me to die from my medical conditions. And then he said, you know what, it's going to be sooner than you think, and it's not going to be from the medical conditions.
Mm-hmm. Did you admit to her that you got pregnant on purpose?
No.
Did she admit to you that she got pregnant on purpose?
She did. When Jeffrey told me the story, he said that he was drinking, she only had one shot, that during sex she said she was ovulating, it was okay not to wear protection. Afterwards, he asked her to take the Plan B pill, and she said, no, I'm not going to do that. So I said to him, you're a liar. I don't believe any of that. You're making it look like you're this great husband who she took advantage of. So I called up Amy and said, I need to hear your side of the story. We met up. She invited me into her house. We sat
After
in her-
you guys harassed me, saying you were going to come to my work, after he harassed my
Go to your work and
father, my
embarrass you.
sister,
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
you're the one that told
Tell
everybody.
all your workers who you are.
Yeah.
So after we went to her house and sat down and talked, her story was Jeffrey's exact same story. And I was so shocked. And I said, do you realize that you're telling me you did this on purpose? Because you're tracking your ovulation. You don't have a boyfriend or a husband. I have 4 kids. I don't even track my ovulation. Why are you tracking your ovulation? And having sex with my husband only on that day. And then
Oh my
not using
God.
protection. To me, that's doing it on purpose. And when I said that to her, she didn't deny it.
So she didn't tell you that she did it on purpose?
She didn't say the words, I did this on purpose.
Thank you.
No, she didn't say the words, I did this on purpose.
That story tells itself.
You're just
Awesome.
inferring that from the facts that you just outlined.
Right. And then when she said that, I said, you're basically telling me right now that you did this on purpose.
Are you going to file criminal charges against him?
No.
Why not?
Because I'm not putting my
If you're
son
raped,
through
you
that.
should.
My
I
older
want
son.
you to.
I think you should too.
You should.
Then I'll do it.
Please.
should.
I'm not playing games. It's going to be a he said, she said.
No,
this is
it's
going to
not.
drag
proof.
out.
I got
We have lots of
texts, I
evidence.
got voice
That's awesome.
recordings. Believe me, I'm ready for this.
Yeah.
So I want you to.
Okay.
Embarrass your family and our kid.
How? How am I going to embarrass
Because you're
my
lying
family?
in front of all these people.
I'm
all
lying?
these watchers, you're lying.
We
Again, all I'm asking for you to do is say that it never happened and we can move forward. I want to co-parent with our child. Understand that.
I said I let it freaking happen, Jeffrey.
No, you said in the deposition that I raped you, that I forced myself. There was no force.
Yes,
There was
I
never
said
a
no.
force.
I said go home to your wife, Jeffrey.
No, there was that. All those things never happened. You and I, we came together. It happened. The next day, it was normal. Nothing ever changed. I had a key to your house still. Your doors were never changed, ever.
How many times do I have to say this? I never said anything until this deposition when they asked me. They asked me,
Well,
did you ever? No, it isn't.
So
They
you're-
said, did you say no? I said, yeah. I said no. I said no twice. I told you to go home to your wife.
Okay.
At the time this happened, did you consider yourself to have been raped?
No, no. I was confused and I was uncomfortable.
Okay.
All right, Amy says that Jeffrey recently got out of control during one of their visitation exchanges. We're going to find out what she says Jeffrey did that forced her to take out a protection order against him. We'll be right back.
My biggest fear is that I don't have my son, that my son is raised without me. I didn't have a father growing up, and not seeing my father there affected me. And now that I know that I can be in all my kids' life, I want to be as stable, I want to be the best father possible whenever he needs me.
And later, you're a right fighter, you're a right fighter, you're a right fighter, and all of you are right. And it is so wrong for this little boy.
I was going to pick up Elijah. What I thought was a normal exchange, and Jeff was just ranting and raving. You're a loser, you're a whore. He just got more infuriated when I didn't respond. That's when Jeffrey threatened my life. I can't wait for you to die. It's gonna be sooner than you think. I was scared, so I took the baby to the car and I called my lawyer right away. And then we went down to the courthouse to file for an emergency protection order, which was granted.
In times when I've been called in to a custody situation and asked as an officer of the court to make a determination about what would be in the best interest of the child, I always look for certain behaviors that are red flags. And if one or both sides is accusing the other person of all manner of sins, it's like, okay, rape and abuse and neglect and threats and lies, and all of a sudden the person with whom they were really close has become evil. It's kind of like overreaching. That bothers me. Then I look at the number of motions that have been filed with the court, where you run to the courthouse and try to get Big Daddy Court to make somebody do something, and you see multiple filings and all that always bothers me. And so I start looking at the credibility of the parties here and see whose agenda is being run. And, you know, I've heard all of this back and forth, but I haven't heard one person say one word about what would be the impact on the child, what's in the best interest of the child. I'm just hearing a lot of angst and rancor and everything going back and forth, everybody wanting to get their words in and their accusations in and point their fingers. But nobody's talking about the baby.
Dr. Phil. If possible, I do want to say this, that ever since he was born, since the first day he was born, I reached out to Amy, to her sister, and her mom to be in his life. For the first 2 or 3 months, I only seen him Monday and Tuesday for 16 hours. And then finally, I kept begging her for more days and more days for my child. And then finally, she wouldn't give it to me, so I went to the court.
Because you wouldn't pay half a daycare. I
have all receipts of everything that I've paid. I sent all those to Tara. I asked since day one to be in his life. That's all I ever wanted. And now that she's trying to relocate to Pennsylvania, all I'm asking is that for her to stay here, stay local, so I can still be a father in his life. Now, ever since I was a child, I had no father. He wasn't in my life. It's all about you. I've been begging and begging to be in his life. And now finally, she wants to leave because she's not getting what she wants.
Can I say
But this whole sob story with, oh, because I didn't have a dad.
It's not a sob story.
No, I believe it. I know this is all, that's your feeling on it. However, what is in the best, if everything is just in the best interest for Elijah, what about changing his name?
I never wanted to change his name.
Really?
I never wanted to change his name.
That's what that Facebook post is, because you guys were calling him Benny, short for Bentley.
He has a nickname. Like our youngster, her name's Boosh.
I had to get an affidavit.
It's only a nickname.
It's a whole new name. Benny is a nickname for Bentley.
My daughter couldn't say Elijah. It was really, she was only 2 at the time, so she would call him Baby, but it sounded like Benny. She'd Benny, Benny, and it was so cute. I don't see what's wrong with that. So we were
Bentley.
like, oh,
the text messages all say Bentley. I'm bringing Bentley home.
Yes.
We
started calling him Bentley, Benny. We had like 5 different nicknames for him. We called him Eli. We had tons of nicknames.
Well, let's confuse the kid.
And that's healthy. Thank you. That's healthy. He's got to be a different kid when he's at their house. He won't take a blanket. He won't take anything that soothes my child.
That suits you.
So
how is it for me, a binky? Really? And you're going to tell me my kid doesn't need it? He's screaming and crying. He doesn't want to get in the car with you, Gwen.
Okay.
He does the same thing when we give him to you. He does the same exact thing. He's a child.
Never.
Yes, he does.
Roll the tape.
the 3 of you are in danger of being very, very shocked. Oh, hell, you're not even listening. Okay.
I need to take a break. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, I don't take breaks. You know, I'm really concerned about the child, and so I asked a good friend of mine and a good friend of the show, Ariva Martin, to be here today. Ariva is a family law attorney and child advocate. She says if Jeffrey and Amy ever expect to have a better co-parenting situation, they both need to come to some set of priorities that have this child at the top. Ariva, you've been sitting listening to this. Help me out here.
I've been shaking my head, Dr. Phil. You hit the nail on the head when you said all the hot button leverage issues being played here. Rape, abuse, physical threats, all of those are used typically to gain leverage in the court, and it's not about the child. When you said no one's talking about the child, I had to think in my mind, have I even heard one of them mention the child's name? And I had to really think really hard about that because they're so busy fighting each other. I don't hear anyone stepping up and saying, let's put all of this behind us.
I did.
What now is in the best interest of this child? No one's talking about that. The dad wants to be right about the so-called rape. Mom wants to be right about how she's not purposely, didn't purposely get pregnant. But who's talking about what is for the best interest of this child? Now, none of the three on the stage.
I agree with what she said, 100%. I've never done anything to hurt the relationship with the baby because I love the baby.
Really, what about taking my kid and not dropping him off like you were supposed to? And sitting at a gas station for over an hour, I had to call the police to go get my kid.
Even when we had these pickups and drop-offs,
please let me
finish.
All the drop-offs are games.
Please let me finish.
You're playing with my son. They're games. Unnecessary. You won't take his blanket for soothing. You won't take his binkies. You take them. You won't drop them off to me.
Dr. Phil, I get what you're saying. I know what you're saying. All I'm asking, I do want to stop all the fighting. I really do care about my son. All I want to do is work with you, and I understand what she's saying. I don't want the back and forth. I don't want the fight anymore.
I can't make it out there. I need to be with my family.
I guess I'll say this, and then we're done. Gwynne, you need to listen.
I am listening, but you have to understand it's never like this. It's never like this.
It's never like what?
They told us that when you go out there, if you want to say something, you have to interrupt.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
They told us that.
You're right.
It's a show.
I'm not trying to be right.
No, you're right. You're a right fighter. You're a right fighter. You're a right fighter. And all of you are right. And it is so wrong for this little boy. But I'm going to tell you how it is. Oh, hell, you're not even listening. Okay, I'll tell you what. I'm going to tell all of you people, because they're having a conversation between them over here while I'm trying to talk to them.
I can't.
What?
I need to take a break. I can't do it.
Yeah, well, I don't take breaks. Here's what I'm going to say to all of you at home. Maybe you will listen to it. And it is this. There are certain red flags that pop up in custody situations with the court that really give you a strong indication of whether one parent or the other is the best suited to be the custodial parent for a child. Okay? Now, what the court always looks for is the hero. They're looking for the peacemaker. They're looking for that person that rises above the fray and says, you know what, I'm going to try to find a way where we can all get together and jointly lift this child up in life. What they run from, what they are afraid of, is the parent that the other person has not one redeeming quality. They're dishonest, they're liars, they're negligent, they're abusive, they're racist, they're this, they're that. It's something always. And that's what the court really looks at and weighs very, very carefully. Now, I've gone through a discussion here with Amy wherein I think she very straightforwardly said, I was not raped. Now, in the middle of that conversation, I was interrupted by both of you. So I guess you didn't want to be vindicated, but you got to say what you wanted to say. So what I'm telling you is this. The three of you are in danger of being very, very shocked. When you invite the government into your family, you lose control. And so you might think you got all the text messages, you got all the proof, you got all this, you got all that, you got successfully got a protection order. And you can go down there and all your self-righteous, sanctimonious behavior and put it all in front of the court, and they say, what the hell's wrong with you? I will agree to arrange for a mediator to sit down outside the court and try to negotiate something among you before you go up those courthouse steps.
We need to.
And quit being right fighters. Fair enough?
Fair enough.
Fair enough?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Gwynne? Fair enough? All right, next, we're going to talk to the man Time Magazine once named America's Best Preacher. And he has written a book that is lights out. I love it when I talk to this guy. After the break, the Bishop T.D. Jakes is here. We'll be right back. Well, Bishop Jakes is not only senior pastor of his church, the Potter's House in Dallas, but he is a prolific film producer. He is a prolific author. He has written a new book, Instinct, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive, and it's available everywhere right now. I am so proud to say, please welcome the Bishop T.D. Jakes. All right. Good to see you, man.
Good to be seen.
All right, how are you?
I'm great.
I think that you are such an inspirational speaker. I mean, I've watched you change lives before my eyes because I've been in your church. But I love it when you write it down because we have a chance to process it in our own speed, at our own pace, reflect on it, and go back to it.
Absolutely.
Tell me the premise of this book.
The whole premise of this book is that I really believe that we search for years for our purpose, to find out where we really fit, what is truly us. Not about success, not about degrees, not about wealth. To find out where you fit and where you are best utilized. And most people live their lives with a question mark, not really understanding where they fit. Instinct says, in spite of not having experience or in spite of not being validated, I am instinctively inclined to go this way or that way, giving myself permission to evolve out of the microcosm of other people's expectations.
You know, I've used this before from your book. Instinct advises, and information informs.
Exactly.
And together, those two things become direction, because you're saying, if you listen to your instinct, it will advise you, it will tell you what is authentic for you. And then you've got to gather information so you know real world how to make that happen. This isn't some spiritual treatise. This is a real world life guide.
Oh, absolutely. And when you balance yourself between that informs and that is instinctive, you are far more able to find that big thing that you're looking for in life that brings gratification, whatever your big elephant is.
Your subtitle is The Power to Unleash the Inborn Drive. And what the bishop does in this book is talk about how you figure this out for you. I mean, you really guide us through how to get there.
We need this. We need this in employees. We take people and we craft them into the position, but we really need to evaluate how this person's gifts are best suited in a company. We often don't become as productive on our jobs because you're trying to take my gift and make it fit your need instead of discovering how my gift is an asset to the company. Corporations need it, marriages need it, families need it, but most of all, you need it so that when you give yourself to somebody or you present yourself to somebody, you are sure of who you are and you know that you are a unique gift and an asset to them.
Man, can I get an amen? Yeah. Thank you so much. All right, the book is Instinct, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive. I promise you, this is a page turner for you. We'll be right back. Well, this has been a favorite time of mine because I've had an opportunity to sit and talk with Bishop T.D. Jakes. And your world is getting bigger and bigger by the minute, is it not? Your reach, your impact on people?
I love it. I love the opportunity to go beyond the realms of the church and embrace people in corporations and communities. And just the more you give away, the more comes back to you. I really enjoy it.
Yeah, well, I tell you, he stays on the cutting edge. And if you're ever in Dallas, you need to go to Potter's House. If you're not, you need to get on the internet and attend church that way. That's amazing how many people you have.
So many people are streaming online. They go on tdjakes.org and they just whip it right up in there on their laptop and say an amen, I guess, on your phone. You know,
well, that works. Well, listen, I want to thank all of my guests today. A special thanks to you for being such a good friend of ours and for talking about this book. A special thanks to family law attorney and child advocate Areva Martin. Thank you for all your input and special. Bishop T.D. Jakes' latest book, Instinct, The Power to Unleash Your Inborn Drive, is now available everywhere books are sold. Pick it up. You'll be glad you did. We'll see you next time. Come walk Robinoff with me, will you? We'll get in between us. All right. All right, Mom, we're going to bookend you here. We're going to bookend you. How's that? All right, guys.